Some people say that space is the final frontier. That phrase was popularized years ago on the American TV show Star Trek. Is the exploration of our universe the final unknown place where mankind can go? Many people think space exploration is the final place humans can go because of its sheer size and composition. As an example, the Milky Way galaxy that our planet Earth resides in is extremely large relative to our much smaller local solar system and all the planets in it. According to the experts, there is said to be approximately 250 billion stars in this vast Milky Way galaxy, although it could be much more, and that's just one galaxy out of billions. Think of its size this way. Experts say that our sun, aka an ordinary star, is about 1.3 million times the size of our Earth. So when we say that there are maybe more than 250 billion stars just like the sun in our galaxy, that's saying a lot. To put it in perspective, a recent scientific study shows it would take about 200,000 years, give or take thousands of years, for a spaceship traveling at high speed at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second in a vacuum, or 11,160,000 miles per minute, to go across our entire galaxy. And that's just our one galaxy. But nobody really knows for sure because it's never been done before. It's all theoretical and assumptive math calculations. To add to that perspective, the International Space Station travels at about 5 miles per second, or 300 miles per minute around the Earth, which sounds fast, but it's obviously nowhere near the speed of light. But our huge galaxy is just one out of billions and even trillions of galaxies in the universe. So imagine how many years it might take to travel across the entire universe as we know it now. It's a number so large and so mind-boggling that we cannot even comprehend it. I have been told that to travel around our world by foot, it would take about 1 year if you kept going with no stops. But with stops of food, rest, and basic necessities, it would obviously take longer. That's 1 year walking around one small planet versus approximately 100,000 to 200,000 years traveling the speed of light non-stop to get across our Milky Way galaxy. No one really knows for sure. It's just a calculated guess because no one has ever done it. If the average lifespan of a human being is around 80 years, and it took up to approximately 200,000 years to get across the Milky Way galaxy, then it would take approximately 2,500 human lifetimes, one after the other, times the amount of people in the crew to make that trip in a spacecraft that would constantly travel at the speed of light. But it is said that traveling at the speed of light is actually an impossibility for a spacecraft, so it could never be done. Also, nearly all those crew members would die in outer space during that voyage. Our universe is gigantic in distance and time. We cannot really comprehend it. If we could travel through space and time at light speed, babies, male and female, would need to be born on that spaceship at least every 70 to 80 years for any humans to be alive in that spaceship at the end of a 200,000 light-year flight. Also, where would all the food, water, clothing, and medicine come from to help sustain all those human beings for a flight like that? You can't just stop at a local grocery store or place an order with Walmart or Amazon. Smart, self-sustaining robots would also need to be used on the Galaxy flight to help fly and operate that spacecraft for the entire voyage, because of the unpredictability of human beings. It's good to have an imagination and think about these things, but it is purely science fiction at best. Another very interesting space travel fact is the only object that has ever traveled from our Earth to the furthest planet Pluto in our solar system was the New Horizons space probe, originally launched in 2006. It took nearly 10 years for New Horizons to reach that planet, moving at speeds of up to 50,000 miles per hour. That 10-year travel time to Pluto is an extremely short distance compared with traveling through our entire galaxy. Also, when you start any journey in space, the place you want to go to may not be there when you arrive, because the universe is dynamic and things are constantly moving. In fact, the universe is so complex and large that our Earth and the people on it are just grains of sand in the cosmos, and so small that we are otherwise non-existent compared to everything else out there. If you think the Earth is big and important, or that you are personally important in some way, then you are sadly mistaken. The Earth is not the center of the universe, and we as people are just vapors that are here today and gone tomorrow. The universe does not care about us because it has no feelings. It is not alive and not a thinking entity, and it exists in ways that are far from our comprehension. The universe is a mystery and will always be a mystery to us as human beings. When the average person thinks of outer space, we do it in the most childish ways when we look at stars in the sky. Those stars look small and insignificant, and those distances from Earth look much closer than they really are. This is because it takes millions or billions of years for light to get here from faraway places in space. If it is millions of years, then that means the starlight we are seeing now from faraway galaxies started out long ago and is just getting here now, according to the so-called experts. Time is so vast in our universe. It is beyond our thinking. It is almost like science fiction, and yet it is real. But how much time is remaining in your life, and do you ever think about that? Nearly all of our thinking is confined to this small planet and to our small brains. Our minds are tiny, and yet many of us think we are so smart and have things figured out. In some cases, we have figured out some hard things. That is true. But we see things through a very small lens relative to all of space, and our small lens only shows us a very small portion of the big picture. Humans are really not that smart, we just think we are. So how should all of these things impact us here on Earth? Simple. We are really nothing compared to everything else out there in space. We are so small and confined to such a small space in the universe, and yet many of us think what we have here is big and complex. But it is not. The mountains may look big to us, the oceans may look like they go on forever, the trees may look tall, and the clouds may look high in the sky. But when looking at all of these things on Earth from outer space, you cannot see any of that at all. We are so caught up in our relatively trivial lives and interacting in trivial stuff on this small planet that most of us don't take the time to contemplate what reality is actually like. We live, then we die, and the universe carries on completely unaware of what goes on here. Even if the most catastrophic event that could ever happen to us actually came true, and our sun lost its power and our Earth died, then all of the Earth and the history of the Earth and its civilizations would be gone. Or what if everything on our planet blew up with a huge nuclear war and everything in it and on it disintegrated? Our universe would not know or care about it at all. Everything would be over, for good. But wait, perhaps there are intelligent alien beings on other planets somewhere in our own galaxy, or further away in another part of the universe? Maybe they are watching us right now and can intervene in our affairs here on Earth. But don't count on it, there are likely no aliens. We can just barely get people to the moon and back with spacecraft and basic space flight, let alone go through our galaxy quickly and do it safely in the near or even the far future. Yes, we successfully sent a spacecraft and astronauts to the moon and a spacecraft to Mars. Was it exciting? Yes, but remember, in theory, it is estimated that it would take about 100,000 to 200,000 years for a proper spacecraft traveling at the speed of light, 186,000 miles a second in a vacuum, to get across our entire galaxy. That is not travel time for our entire universe, but it's just for one galaxy among billions and even trillions out there. What would that starship look like? How large could it be? Would there be artificial gravity and enough air in it for humans to exist and operate normally during that long voyage? Would there be enough interior space to easily walk around, exercise, relax, eat, and sleep? Please watch part 2 of our video series, Space. It is not the final frontier.